I'm spending 2 days in one of Central California's biggest wildlife refuges using 2 completely different techniques. On the first day, I'll be photographing wildlife with the standard super telephoto lens, while the other day I'll be using a 135mm lens in order to get a completely different looking shot.
This challenge was going to be a little harder than I expected, but I'm excited to share what I learned and what I came away with. I started out photographing some white-faced ibis that were roaming around near the grasses by the entrance. The morning clouds were just lifting off the ground, and it provided for an eerie scene as I captured these guys. A more appealing subject to me was just a ways off to the side, however. A lone black-necked stilt was working his way through the marsh and provided for some cool footage.
There is thousands and thousands of birds here today. It's drier than normal, but still lots of stuff and very dense flocks. And one trick that I've learned in situations like this with winter migrating birds is to really pick out one single subject that you want to work on at the moment and try to isolate that subject, whether it be through depth of field, exposure, or color isolation, which really helps give a lot of personality amidst what could otherwise be a very cluttered and kind of distracting scene.
While this stilt was fun to watch, I had a much cooler encounter coming up just down the way. First, I stopped by an overlook platform to get a view out into the distance. In the past, this marsh has been filled with unbelievable amounts of winter migrating birds. But unfortunately, this year hasn't been the same, and for whatever reason, the numbers here seem to be 10% of what they usually are. Knowing that this would make my day a little trickier, I continued down the road when a few black-necked stilts just off the side of the road allowed me to get close up with them. And this is what I captured. There was some commotion going on in the scene around. Not sure why, but for some reason, this stilt kept calling to its buddies, chasing them around and foraging.
This is exactly the type of moment that I was hoping for today, but actually even more so, I really hope I get another opportunity like this tomorrow. We're getting some black-neck stilts coming up super close, putting on a really cool display right now. And tomorrow I'm gonna be taking out my shorter lenses to see if I can get really close up to some of this action.
While I didn't get any good shots of the chase, it was incredible to get this footage with one calling up close. As I was wrapping this up, there was an incredible moment of sunrays lighting up the distance off to the side. I waited around for a bit and actually got a photo I really liked of 2 ducks flying through the sunbeam in a silhouette image. Sometimes it pays to look at things a little bit differently. While that photo was heading in the direction I wanted, little did I know that tomorrow I'd get the best opportunity I've ever gotten with a long coveted bird I've always wanted to photograph. I drove up the road and planted myself in a different spot. And I was excited because I had some male northern pintail up decently close, which is never the case where I live. Usually, due to hunting, these guys will flush on you a mile away, but these ones were friendly and I got to hang out with them for a bit. Swimming through the marsh thickets makes it a little difficult to get a clear shot of one, so I waited and waited, and eventually I got a shot of one that I decently liked as it was flapping its wings, giving some action to the scene. Unfortunately, not a great scenic shot, but it would make do for the moment.
It's hard here because what I'm trying to do is get down really low, but it's also really muddy right in front of me. So I'm not one to just get full on in the mud, not really in the mood for that in the moment or dress for it. So I'm trying to lean back as much as I can to get as eye level as possible, which is really important in these types of environments and with all waterfowl in general.
The first day had come to a close. It's been a little sad to see the marsh so empty compared to previous years, but I'm thankful for what I did see and hope that our future holds brighter things for birds so that we have stories to tell of these beautiful creatures for years.
So this is a little challenging this morning as I'm arriving a little late as I was expecting it to be cloudy. So I didn't get up in time really to get here and get here before the sunrise when we have that really, really nice lighting. So it's already starting to get pretty bright, making it a little challenging to get images. But hopefully I can still get some good stuff with this 135 today.
I spent a half hour with the same black-necked stilt family from yesterday as the sun continued to rise, but I never really got the shot I was looking for. Rather, I focused on recording some video and audio of the beautiful marsh scene. Its sounds can be truly incredible in the morning. I walked up the water line a little ways, and as I was walking back, one flew up between me and my wife, and I got to photograph it for a bit. However, lighting nor scene were great, and so I didn't get anything I liked. Still, these creatures are so fun with their calls, an interesting skinny look, and just simply fun to be around. I moved further down the road and tried to see what I could do with a 135mm at a distance. Unfortunately, I think marsh scenes are a little harder to capture at wider angles due to their vastness, which provides a lot of dead space up in the sky, not to mention how difficult it can be to get close up with birds here. But I tried my best. Honestly, missing that sunrise really hurt my chances of getting the shots I was really hoping for, and that's on me for that. Off in the distance, I spotted my first group of sandhill cranes since my time here. I was determined to make something of them. But unfortunately, they were around a clump of marsh reeds and so far out that it really didn't make for any photographs. On the other hand, I did capture a video that I thought was pretty cool, in which you can see them circled down from above, calling their majestic sound out into the abyss as they drop from the sky.
So this 135 is unique in that it's providing me a very different angle than kind of this standard, typical kind of what you see in wildlife photography most of the time. I made a video on it last time, so you can check out that video in a lot more detail about how I've been using that lens recently. But I wanted to take it here to see if I can get some marsh environment. However, it has been really difficult to find the kind of scene that I want, which is how kind of cluttered a marsh can typically be. I haven't really found the shot that I'm exactly looking for yet. And it's been a little difficult. And I'm trying to drive around, trying to find the right location to plant myself at, especially now that we have some harsh light and it's getting harder and harder as every hour it goes.
At my next location, I was camped down waiting for something to happen, but nothing was coming of it. As I was about to head home, a flock of Ross's geese flew in from the distance, just around the bend, and I knew that this was my chance. A large flock of birds like this was what I was missing here this whole time. And this group would make for an awesome subject to test this 135mm against in some group photos. The lighting was average, but yet it was so interesting to see the perspective that a lens like this can give to a whole environment. It truly put a big flock of birds into a frame in a way that I've never seen before. And while I could get everything around them scenically, it could still direct the viewer's attention with depth of field due to the 1.8 aperture. My favorite was capturing video clips of new Ross's geese joining the flock out of the sky. And as they came in for landings, I got some great footage I really, really liked. Man, their sounds are incredible. And even some photos came out good for my liking, and I picked out some favorite scenes to share.
Man, these snow geese and Ross's geese are just so cool. I've been trying to get them with this 135, but I think I'm gonna hop back to my super telephoto in a moment. But I wanted to point out really quick, you probably noticed this green tripod that I'm using today. That's new, and that's been sent over by the sponsor of today's video. But what you probably haven't seen is that yesterday my second shooter was using this tripod all day to film me and really enjoyed being able to use it. So far today, I've loved its very compact, lightweight, yet very durable design. Has a lot of nice textures to it, a lot of nice grip. I also really like the fluid video head, as it does a really good job of being nice and smooth for a more budget-friendly, compact tripod. And also what I really love about it is the tripod legs, as I've had so many tripod legs where when I pick them up like this, they very quickly get to a point where they're just dangling and you gotta retighten them constantly. So far I haven't been using it long, but I have really enjoyed how firm these are. Like I actually have to put a decent amount of pressure on them to move them, which I personally really like when I'm out in wildlife photography, doing wildlife photography and carrying it around a bunch. So if you're interested in getting this tripod for yourself, you can get a discount on it through my link in the description below.
Of course, I couldn't go without at least trying my super telephoto lens to compare shots. And just as I pulled it out, a huge flock came flying in to add to the group, and I got some cool footage of these guys coming in for a landing. Seeing them swarm down from the sky is such a cool experience, and if you've never gotten to see it before, I can't recommend going to see something like this enough. Winter migrating waterfowl are something special, and it's so important to protect lands like this as some of their last remaining refuges to seek safety and survival during the harsh winter months up north. Ironically, at the end of all of this, I pulled off some shots with the super telephoto, but I think I liked my wider angles with the 135mm better. I'd be curious to know which ones you liked more, and you can let me know in the comments. What a great day to be out doing wildlife photography, and I hope you're inspired to get out and try capturing some new wildlife this winter season. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, I'd be honored if you subscribed. And if you want to watch my 2023 recap of my best wildlife photography adventures, click this video in the end screen here.